everybody. We just want to say welcome and thank you for tuning in with us this evening for a session of Mission Possible Marriage. Here we have two married couples that have been married for quite a while, and we are in no way experts on marriage, but we've been doing this for quite a while. So we just want to give you a few tips and just let you in on our life a little bit as a married couple. And we're going to be very transparent today. We're going to do some real talk. We're going to shoot you straight today. We have a few questions that we're going to go through. And we also want you guys to interact with us. So make sure you like the video, share it with other married couples. If you know a married couple that you know may need some help, tag them right quick so they can jump on here and share in the conversation with us. So this session of Mission Possible Marriage Ministry is called Marriage Conversation with the YBs. So really quickly, what we're going to do is we want to make sure that you interact and comment as we said, but at the end of the session, we're going to do kind of a question and answer, a Q&A. So anytime during the session, make sure that you are typing your questions or comments on the screen. We have somebody who's monitoring those, and we're going to come back to the questions at the end. So any questions that you have for us, we can answer at the end, okay? All right, so really quickly, we're going to do quick introductions. I know most of y'all who are jumping on probably already know who we are, but we're just going to talk a little bit about our marriage, introduce ourselves, and then we'll jump into what we have to talk about for this evening. So you want to introduce us? He's so extra.
Sure. All right. Hello. I'm Pastor YB 3. And this is my beautiful wife, Lady C, Lady Clarissa here. We are from Refreshing Springs Ministries, Martin, Tennessee. If you're on this stream, you know that already. So we're going to switch it to the other side of the table. We've been married 21 years, and we're going to shoot it to BYBs from this side.
I'm Pastor YB, Texas. Unity Church here in Wichita Falls, Texas. And I am married to the awesome Lady K, my wonderful wife Kendra. We've been together. We've been married on July 25th. It will be 22 years. So we've been kicking this thing for a minute now. We got a little bit to share. Don't know everything, but we're good. We're good.
Hey man, I am so excited to have them with us today on this session. Normally they're tuning in. We're in Tennessee and they're in Texas, and they're tuning in and commenting like you will be today, but we're all on here together, and I'm just so excited about the information that we have to share. We're going to start out, we're going to kind of rewind and take it all the way back to our dating years. So that's where we're going to start. So if we have some single folks on here, or somebody that's in the dating status and you're kind of considering or thinking about marriage, we have something for you this evening also. So we're going to talk about, the first thing that I want us to talk about, and anybody can jump in first, so it's up to you guys. First question is, or first thing we're going to talk about, let's talk about dating back when we were dating versus dating today. So what kinds of things do you think are different? Let's be a little transparent and talk about some things when we were dating.
Okay. Who want to go first?
Go ahead. You go.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay. Well, dating in my day was definitely different than dating now. There's so many more advantages to dating now. You can really find out about people before you ever get deeply involved with them. You can search them out and search their history and find out the things they may have done in the past, this, that, and the third. But back then, you really had to take time to get to know people. I think
Right.
back then in my days, you had to have the gift of conversation
Right.
in order to strengthen a relationship. Now you can you could date somebody online for years and never meet them, and then have a whole to do. That was unheard of. I'm coming back from the days of pagers and
man.
payphones, you know.
Yes.
But you know that's not. I don't even think the youth of today know what a pager really is or what it was actually
No.
used
Probably
for.
not.
They don't.
So you know we pager payphone time frame.
So
And-
can I insert something real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
So I'm gonna tell a little funny story. So here's what we used to do when we were dating. We didn't have cell phones back then. So like he said, he had a pager. What he would do, and I believe we talked about this last night. Nelson and Pastor David shared a pager. So I was paging.
Shared
Wow.
one pager.
So I was paging Nelson for him to call me back, and she was also paging David on the same pager. But funny story here, like he said, he used to have to go to a payphone to call me. So what he would do, I would page him, let him know when I was home ready for him to call. He would go to a payphone and then call me collect, because there was no nationwide calling back then. It was a long distance call. So he would call me collect, and instead of saying his name, he would really quickly, when it says you have a collect call from, he would say the number from the payphone and say call me back really quick.
Wow.
So I had to have my pencil and paper ready so
You're
I
giving up
could
the
write
secrets.
down the
You're giving up the
number.
secrets.
Yeah.
So I could write down the number and then call him back really quickly. And he would sit in his truck for hours, stick the little phone through his window and talk to me on the phone. But he was going to school at MTSU and I was going to school at UTM. So we didn't even live in the same city. So we had to date long distance, and we still were able to make it work. You want to talk about that a little bit?
No. No.
Why not?
That's no. No. Anybody else want to talk?
I'll just say it definitely took, I feel like, more effort on our part. Back then, we had to do more. If you like this, you would tell by the way they were committed to coming to see you.
Yeah.
They lived, for me, he lived 45
Felt
45
like it, huh?
minutes
Felt like it, huh?
away. And it was, what, 2 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours for
Yeah.
y'all. So in order for us to see each other, they would have to travel. They would have to first go through the,
Parentals.
oh my gosh, that was a whole,
Yes, that was. Oh
that was a whole, I don't know, situation in itself to try to get them to let them use the car so that they could come and see us. So
Yeah.
I remember Nelson dropping David off at my house and going to Clarissa's house. Like, that's how we used to. He
Yeah.
still had a whole nother hour and some change
Yeah.
to get to Clarissa
my.
after.
Come back to pick you up on the way home.
Yeah.
He dropped David off, and then, he had to come back, pick David up. And my mom was like, look, you don't need to be driving out of my driveway at 11:59. You
Yes.
got 1 minute.
That's a
how
new
long-
day.
It's a new day.
That's another day.
So if he's there at 12 o'clock, then we in trouble. And
So that impacted my time
right,
with the.
because you still had time.
I had to get back here. This don't make no sense.
Because you had to come and get me in time enough so that I could be off the premises before the allotted time.
Hey, Nicole.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So it's another avenue.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It was.
So do you feel like y'all had to have, I guess, your conversation game up at that time? Because I feel like dating today is kind of a lost art. Like, they don't even know how to approach each other because they do so much behind the screen.
I think so. I think you was no catfishing back then.
Yeah.
You were who you were.
You
That's it.
you had that problem. You know, you talk on the phone, and there's such thing called talking. We just talking. You know, who you talking to? I'm talking. This is what I'm talking. Wasn't no girlfriend boyfriend yet because you was just talking, and you spent a lot of time just talking on the phone. Wasn't no screen time. Wasn't no texting. Wasn't no instant messages. And nobody sliding no DMs. None of that. You had to talk.
Send the
And
pictures.
if you were gonna talk, you had to have something to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to have something to talk about.
You know what I'm saying? You had to have something to say. And so, yeah, dating now, I'm glad I'm married.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm married. I'm glad I ain't got to deal with all the rigmarole that everybody goes to. You know, is that really them? Is that what they really look like? You know, we met in person, got exchanged numbers or pagers or whatever.
Right.
And then pursue. You know, that's how it was.
Hey, Tim.
That's how it was. So I think dating today is a totally different game.
Yeah.
Totally different game.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not the same parameters. However, they may be more comfortable with what they do now, because they've been doing this their whole life.
You know what else though? Y'all were in boot camp. We didn't have cell phones while y'all were in
We
boot
sure
camp.
did. We sure didn't.
David wrote me letters.
Right.
Letters.
He had to write. That's a whole nother difference. You know, now in boot camp, you can call home. You can do all that. You know, go FaceTime your wife and kid or whatever. But when we were y'all were in boot camp or tech school or whatever, y'all had to write
Well, none of
us
that.
letters. And we had to talk on the phone for a limited amount of time, like prison, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like Harry said,
Yeah.
say.
People don't know what
People
phone cards
were-
are.
Yeah, they were phone cards.
Phone
I
cards.
forgot about that.
Wow.
Phone card.
That they charge. You bought. Hey, listen. I only got a
$20.
20-minute phone call.
Yes.
Use it on a payphone.
Yes.
Y'all forgot about them, huh?
I did.
About
Phone
that.
cards.
Phone cards was a lifesaver.
That's what we used to communicate. And then you knew you didn't have much time, so you had to go and spit your game. You had to be on your stuff, and then because you didn't want to waste that time.
Because you didn't know when the next time may be.
Exactly.
Because you didn't have control over it. It wasn't as easy as picking up your cell phone and making a phone call.
No, or texting right there.
So you had to make sure your foundation was laid, so when the next time you talk to them, you were still good.
Right.
Ain't nothing else changed.
Right. Because I wouldn't see her,
Right.
but I only saw her on the weekends,
Yeah.
and sometimes it was only on Sunday for 2 hours
For a little span.
at church.
In the middle of service, yeah, with everything going on.
Not quality time, none of that.
Boy, that's quality time.
Yeah.
Church is quality time. Get the Lord his time. It's quality.
No one-on-one interaction.
Thank
That's
you.
what
No
he's trying to say.
one-on-one. Thank you. So yeah, it's
Church is
completely
quality
different.
time.
It's completely different now.
Well, that's where we did most of our dating at.
Amen.
Was at church. We would
In
go,
the balconies.
and y'all AIM department, please forgive us. We would come to AIM to see our boyfriends
That's what it was.
and girlfriends.
Yeah, we did.
We would use AIM to be able to have a whole week
Of time together.
with our boyfriends and girlfriends. Don't y'all do this now, people, guys. Young children, young
We did it.
teenagers,
We
guys.
did it. Oh
But we
man.
used to
It
do
still
that.
happens, but they text in church now.
Yeah.
They don't have
They
to
set it
have-
all up.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had to hurry up and meet each other right on the steps
Shoot.
outside.
Yeah.
Before you got in the car,
Say what we was gonna do, yeah.
meet you back at the hotel.
Right, and then if we had an argument or we had a disagreement, whatever you wanted to call it, and we got off the phone, you had to wait until the other one decided to answer the phone or whatever to straighten it out. Now, if they don't answer the phone, they can shoot a quick text. If you don't want to talk, you just shoot a quick text.
Wow.
Or make a post.
Right.
Subliminal.
Like this is about you.
We know what
not
you're trying to say.
directed
Yeah.
it, but
Subliminal.
yeah.
Subliminal post about them that you tag them in it. that pings on their phone. Dude.
So they know they ain't getting
That's their
it.
page, right?
Yeah.
And so we didn't have none of this
That's
stuff
their
now,
page.
man. We didn't. Wow.
So was it better?
I think it was.
Is it on?
It made you appreciate.
Somebody's asking me, are we online? Did you share
Yeah, we're online.
online?
Yeah. It made you appreciate the relationship. It made you appreciate the person. You had to truly get to know them. Because ain't nobody just driving an hour just for somebody just. No.
Right.
Ain't nobody driving 2 hours, 3 hours. This is. You know what I'm saying? No, dating now and dating then. Back then, you had to put in work. You put in work. Both had to put in work, both sides.
All right, go ahead.
Anybody else want to add to that question, or y'all want to move on to the next one? We ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right, so the next question kind of deals with dating a little bit also. How did you know that your spouse was the one? That was your person?
Somebody else.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I didn't know that I knew then, but I recognize now that I knew at that moment. Now that I look back, I think people are like, oh, I knew that. No, you realized, you reflect on when you first meet a person or see a person, and that lets you know when your interest, when your desire, when your attraction was sparked. My attraction and now I understand now, my attraction for her and my desire for her to be my one was in 1993 Labor Day weekend in Ripley, Tennessee on the park. Which is crazy because we didn't start dating until March 1995.
Wow. So she was your one 2 years before y'all started dating?
Yes, and this is what it was. Him and I were walking together.
I was there?
You were there. You don't even remember this. I
No.
remember it vividly.
I don't.
She had on black jeans, a money green shirt with the flowery wrist, and she was
It's
walking
called bell-bottom sleeve.
bell-bottom sleeve, and she was walking holding hands
Flowery.
with
He
another
remember
young
the
man.
Outfit. Dang.
She was holding his hand. They were walking holding hands throughout the park, the little carnival
So
area.
now you telling too much because I wasn't supposed to be holding nobody's hand at this time. I
Okay,
was, what,
we don't.
14?
Hey, it's over with. She was holding his hand.
Sorry, Mama. If you
And
watching.
what happened was, I got upset.
Felt some kind of way?
Yes.
Because he was holding her hand?
Because why is she holding his hand? She shouldn't be holding his hand. Next thing you know, about January 1994, I start trying to pursue her, and she didn't want to have nothing to do with me. And then March 26th at 8:30 p.m. in the evening on Youth Sunday is when she finally said yes, 1995.
Wow. You made him work, huh?
But she wasn't supposed to be holding his hand.
Because she was your person.
I
She was
didn't
your
know.
one.
I couldn't explain why I had a problem with a young lady that I only seen at church a couple of times because we had just moved back to Tennessee.
What was we doing at this park?
We was down there at park because the park was supposed to be Labor Day weekend was supposed to be the joint.
We
And so
drove
we
up
went.
there?
We drove up there.
Don't remember none of that.
You don't remember
It
anything?
was right before we went into the little area for the dance.
Oh, okay.
You got it now?
Got it. But I don't remember that part. All right.
Okay, we're going to pass it to you.
Why we always going to guys? Why all the guys?
Yeah, thank you. When did you know I was the one for you?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Bring that to the table.
To the table.
Think about it.
You don't know?
I'm thinking about it because I was very cautious with you because of your history. So I had to be. I didn't know for a long time because of your history.
There wasn't nothing wrong with me.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with you. Your history wasn't good. So, it was a minute. And we already know this, so we're not going to...
Okay, but when was it done?
I don't know.
When did you realize
Everybody
that?
don't have dates
I
and
don't have a
outfits.
date. Yeah, I don't have a date. I don't have a date. You obviously are my one because you're right here, but I don't have a date.
All right,
Your turn.
Pastor YB.
Let's come on down the table. Let's come on.
David went first.
Let's come
and
on
you
down
go
the table.
first,
You
and
want me to go
come in.
first?
That's right.
Why I got that? Okay.
I want to hear it all over again.
You want to hear it all over again?
All over again.
Okay, look, this is it in a nutshell for me, okay? I was never the one talking about getting married. As a matter of fact, I was always the one that said he wasn't getting married.
Don't cover your face. I got it.
I'm just telling the truth. I wasn't gonna get married. I'm not settling down. I'm not marrying nobody. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna be single my whole life. That was my stance for the longest. And most situations most entanglements I found myself up in.
Oh, wow.
I was able
We're gonna talk about that later.
to find a reason to walk away. And even in our relationship, I looked for reasons to not be in it. So I was looking for a way out in all of it, always. And I can't go October 31st, 6:30 p.m. I can't do all that. But I do know there came a point when I was like, you know what, you really have no more excuses. You're looking for something that's not even there, and you're trying to make an excuse. We even broke up. We even broke up, and I was like, you know what, whatever. But obviously that was not the end of it, because I don't know if the break. Let me clear. Since we being transparent, us breaking up wasn't my fault. I didn't do that.
Thank you for coming back.
Okay, I didn't break up.
You need to insert now. What happened?
That wasn't my fault.
What did you do?
See,
But
we had the whole conversation.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Because when you left, I was like, there it is.
There's my
There it
business.
is. I didn't. There it is. And even in that moment, I was unsure about walking away. I was like, I can't, whatever. And I didn't want to just let it go and leave it to chance. But we ended up coming back to the table together and sitting down and hashing things out. And
Yes.
I really knew at that moment when we got back together, I had no more excuses, no more reason to even be like, she's not it. She's not it. So that was my moment. That's how it worked for me.
Okay.
But again,
How did you know?
I knew it was her.
Uh-huh.
I'm a very astute watcher of people. I watched how she took care of a household. We did have a child together. I watched how she took care of my child. There were things that I saw that she did that were on par with my mother, which gave me peace knowing I could be married to her because she could handle it. She could handle being with me because I could see things she did in the same level, in the same respect as my mother. So when I put those together without any more excuses to get out of it, I'm like, she's it. That's it right there. Let's go. And that's how it happened.
Okay. So do you want me to talk about why we broke up?
I don't care because I didn't do it.
We broke up over the whole marriage conversation. That's
Uh-oh.
why we broke up.
Go ahead.
Wow.
Because I knew, I guess before he knew, that he was my person. I was rock solid. There was no doubt in my mind. But then he had the conversation, even had the conversation with my parents, I think my mom at least, that he never wanted to get married. And so I knew he was my person. That's who I wanted to be with. And if you don't want to marry me, then I'm wasting my time. So that's why we broke up.
Wow.
And then you said, while we were broke up, you knew that you couldn't imagine life without me.
You broke up with me. I need you to say that.
I did
There
say
you go. There you go.
But-
She broke up with me.
But it was your fault, though.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, because I was ready to ride it out and see how it ended up.
I was your person and you didn't know. That's why we broke up.
Yeah, but you didn't want to get married, and that's the reason why y'all broke up. So you're the reason why y'all broke up.
Well, in actuality, the conversation I had with your parents was with me telling them just because we got a child don't mean we got to get married.
Right.
That's what I said,
Right.
and that didn't go over well.
But you in turn
And
told
shortly
me,
after that, you was like, you know what? Why don't we just go our separate ways? Because I can do bad by myself. And I was like, well, go on then.
okay, so this leads me to talk about how I knew he was my person.
Yeah, let's hear that.
How I knew you were the one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just felt like the relationship felt a whole lot different than any other relationship I had ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what I was willing to invest, and I felt like he was investing all that back in me. Sometimes the relationships are one-sided. At the point when I met you, I already had a 6-month-old daughter. Antoinette was 6 months when we started dating. And just to, I guess, see you and the relationship and the bond that you formed with her, and also the effort that you put toward pursuing me, just made me feel like this is my person. He really wants to be with me. And also, your background. Now, you were a knucklehead when I met you.
Hold on.
You ain't,
got to
brother,
say,
but
hold
we're not gonna talk about all
We
that.
ain't got to be doing all that. That ain't. This is marriage, not
Yeah, but they have to.
before marriage.
They need to know all
But
of it, though.
sometimes it works out even when you don't see it.
Right. I knew your background. I knew that you and I were raised in the same kind of environment, same kind of atmosphere. And even though you weren't pursuing God at the time,
Yeah.
I knew that you knew God.
Okay.
And so that was also something that attracted me to you.
Right. Okay. I guess I can live with that.
So what you invested in me, and also the relationship and the bond that you formed with the child I already had that wasn't yours, made me see that you were my person. And you were actually the first person she called daddy.
Mm.
And that was really heartwarming in itself.
I'm trying to bring it back around.
I'm just saying. I was a good dude.
I didn't say you weren't a good dude. You were a good dude. You're still a good dude. You've always
Y'all were
been
great guys, and we never
a
would
good
have.
dude. But at the time, you were a young good dude. Like you were a young dude. We got married at 19 and 21. And we were dating. I was 16. You were 18. So you didn't know what all you wanted to do by then.
No.
At that point in that time.
No,
So
not
I
at
was
all.
cautious. I'm 16 years old. I haven't even figured out 16. I'm not you the one. You know, at 16, I don't know who I'm gonna be with at 16 years old.
Right.
So I could say, oh, yeah, he's my one at 16. I couldn't do that. I didn't know. And then your history on top of that, like we're saying, we're just being real. You had the women's. I mean, y'all know, y'all were partners in crime.
I don't know about all that.
They don't want to talk about this. Sis. Let's
Right.
move on to the next question.
don't-
Because I feel a little tension in the room. So let's
I don't
move
believe
on.
With them, I'm not tense. I'm good.
Next question.
I'm
All right,
good.
could y'all do me a favor, please? If you're watching the live, please do me a favor. Smash the share button. Share it with everybody you can. Let's get the numbers up. Let's push this as far as we can. We got a little while longer to go. But while we're here, I need you to participate. Share. The first thing I need to do is share and comment. All right? Interact. All right? Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's move on from the dating now. Let's talk about after we were married. Okay, and like she said, they were very young when they married. So were we. I was 19, he was 23 when we got married. So very young. We were just babies. So let's talk a little bit about a huge problem that we encounter in the beginning stages of marriage.
Well, we had some serious issues early on, money especially.
Finances.
Number one, because who was that? Was that me and you talking, Dave? About families setting them up? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So as is the custom in most African American, black, whatever you want to call yourself, households,